Hello, it's hard to believe that we are already in May and it is approaching the time for graduations and all of the end of the year celebrations. But I do have the May board meeting for all of you. First of all, we did have the state auditor come in and present to the Board of Education about the audit they have going on here in the ISD. And that was under comments to the Board of Education. Then we had the consent agenda, and first of all, under the consent agenda, we had bills totaling $10,149,360.12. And then we did have two items that were moved from the consent agenda to new business. The first one was to let bids for lease copier services within the independent school district. And this is something that we do put out every typically 4 to 5 years. So we are going to put out the RFP for that to lease the copiers in the ISD or for the ISD. Also under consent agenda, which again was moved to new business, we did have the approval to let bids for the partial roof replacement at Three Trails Elementary School. This is something honestly that was unexpected, but as everyone knows, we've had a lot of rain this spring, and we did discover a number of leaks. So after inspecting the roof, we have determined that we do need to replace that roof. I did give my superintendent's report, so I'll talk about that before I get into what our regularly scheduled new business items were. First of all, I did talk in length about Senate Bill 727, and this was the omnibus education bill. I won't go through all of it because it was 167 pages, but there were two things that I did want to talk about with the Board of Education and now with you. The first part was the 4-day school week. Part of the 727 was the fact that it does require any school districts that are in charter counties or first-class counties, which Jackson County is, or within a community of 30,000 people or more, if they are going to have the 4-day week for the 26-27 school year, it does have to go before our patrons for a vote. There is some concerns about this, mostly the fact that it does take away local control from a duly elected school board here in the independent school district. And this legislation was very much tailor-made to try to limit the independent school district's ability to have the 4-day week. But with that, we will have a vote prior to the 26-27 school year. Also, as part of Senate Bill 727, there is the minimum teacher salary piece to the bill. While that in theory sounds great of having a minimum teacher salary of $40,000, there was no appropriation guaranteed to fund this. So what happens is now there will be a state statute that requires school districts to have a minimum salary of $40,000, which I think is wonderful for staff, but there is no funding that is tied to this. So there could be situations in the future where school districts can't afford to pay the minimum $40,000, which here in the ISD, our salary is far greater than that, but at some point this will always adjust up, mainly due to inflation. But if you have a situation in which school districts can't afford it, they may very well have to start to cut staff or programs just to be able to afford the state required minimum salary because there's no separate appropriation to pay for this. Also, under Superintendent's Report, I did talk about the survey that we recently released that was sent out to parents, to our students, as well as to our staff regarding the 4-day week. And I was very excited about the results of that. While I'm not going to go through all of the results, I would like to encourage everyone to go online to our district website to look at the results, but I do want to highlight a couple of things. First of all, the fact that 83% of our families agree that ensuring their child has a fully certified and qualified teacher is more important to our families than adhering to our traditional 5-day week. And really that was the crux of having the 4-day school week, is we want to have the very best and brightest teaching our kids every day. So our families affirm that's very important to them. Also with our teachers, 79% believe that that their students and staff have effectively adapted to the 4-day school week. And also 80% of our teachers are more inclined to stay employed with the independent school district because of the 4-day week. And again, that was the whole purpose of the 4-day week. And with our students, 83% believe that the 4-day instructional week has been beneficial to them. So again, I don't want to go into a lot more detail, but please go onto our website, look at the report. It does have a lot more information than what I've shared. Now on to the regularly scheduled new business items. Item number 1 was the approval of the Missouri School Board Association dues, and that totals $13,510, and this is the same as what it was last year. Also, we had the approval of Board of Education policy changes. This was a first reading. We did remove 2 of the policies to go back to the committee for review. And just to give a quick synopsis of the policies, the first one is C110P. It includes in it the vision statement for the district as well as a link to the Board of Education priorities. One policy that was removed to go back to the committee was C140P, and that dealt around having agenda items added for each school board meeting. C170P, what it does, it clarifies the state statute on what is allowed as far as polling sites and advertising on school grounds. One thing I do want all of our families to know is that the independent school district does not have a say on if our schools are used as polling sites for elections. I do get a lot of questions about that. Unfortunately, we do not have a say in that, as the Jackson County Election Board dictates where the polling sites are located at, since we are a school district. Policy G235P, that was removed as well to go back to committee. And what it does, it clarifies the filing procedures that we have for school board elections. G275P, it states that no financial transactions occur by Board of Education members. If they don't occur, then they don't have to file the MEC report. E200P states that mandatory reporting is required by our board members, just as it is required by our staff members. F105P states that the audit and management letter will be presented to the Board of Education. We've always done that. We're just making sure that it states that in policy. F130P, it does take out some language that's not required for us to have because it deals with St. Louis County. And then F135P states that our investment report will be presented to the Board of Education regularly rather than quarterly. The requirement actually only says regularly. Item number 3 is the approval of the ISD dental insurance renewal. Great news on this. For the next 2 years, we have a 0% increase in our premiums for our dental insurance. Also, item number 4 is the approval of the ISD health insurance program. And more great news, all of our base plans saw no increase, and that includes our portion of those base plans that are employee plus children, employee plus spouse, and then the family program as well. So again, great news to that. We do have 4 buy-up programs here in the ISD for our insurance. Overall, we saw about a 1% increase to our insurance premiums. And if you look at national trend, that's been 8 to 10%. So exciting news there for our employees. Also, we have the approval of the ISD Board of Education paid life, AD&D, voluntary life, and board paid long-term disability. And once again, for the next 2 years, we will have no increase to those premiums. Item number 6 is the approval to purchase an assessment platform. We are going to use Renaissance, and it does have a whole suite of products, including STAR testing, EduClimber, STAR Phonics, and our Early Ed Screener. This will be a 3-year contract with Renaissance for $757,815. Item number 7 is the approval to purchase Happy Numbers as a math resource in the independent school district. Parents, you may be familiar with this as we have been using this, but we're going to make it a district-wide purchase, and that is a 3-year contract for $155,295. Item number 8 was the approval of the textbook for the new class that's called Baking Essentials at our high schools. And this textbook is from Pearson, and it is their 4th edition. Item number 9 is the approval for the delegate for the Missouri School Investment Program, and myself as the superintendent, I will be the school district's delegate. Item number 10 is to accept a bid for renovations at Independence Academy. This is something I'm really excited about. We're going to take the space at IA and make it much better utilized. And again, it's really good renovations. We're going to be able to add some classrooms from space that's already existing. Excel Contractors was the winning bid for $889,000. Item number 11 was the approval to accept a quote for the furniture for Independence Academy with this remodel, and SSI Furnishings was the winning bidder on this at $85,123.68. Item number 12 was the approval to accept bids from vendors to purchase district chemicals. We are part of a cooperative consortium buying these through the cooperating school districts of Greater Kansas City. So there was a bid sheet that was supplied with that. And then item 13 was the approval to award the contract for the nutrition service grocery supplies. U.S. Foods was the top bidder on this. It is a 3-year contract totaling $3,290,609. So with that, a lot of agenda items, but again, we are closing in on the end of school. Really excited about that. Graduations are coming up very quickly, but I do want to say thank you to all of our staff and our families for all of the support we've received throughout the school year, and I hope everyone can make it out to graduation that's coming up this weekend. So with that, have a great May, everyone.